what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
All of us need to be reminded that the federal government did not create the states. The states created the federal government.
It's a suggestion that somebody knock off Obama. Well, both, which we could. Well, you know.
It's not about agenda. It's not about mobilizing people. It's about dialing for corporate dollars. These two parties have sold the U.S. government and the American people to the highest bidders.
I certainly am aware of the sensitivity of the subject. But what happened today illustrates a tremendous example of mass media mind control. And it's basically like a Psy-Op, psychological operation, surrounding this Bin Laden situation. Now, I'm not going to take too much time because I have some really good examples taken from direct sources through the BBC, CNN, MSNBC, and other sources that'll provide a clearer understanding of this Psy-Op that we're under. Now, Dr. Steve Pieczenik served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Henry Kissinger, Cyrus Vance, and George Shultz and James Baker. He is a genius, basically, Harvard educated, MIT. At 20 he was enrolled in medical college. He is a doctor of psychology. In fact, he was the first psychiatrist ever to receive a PhD focusing on international relations, and is also affiliated in a healthcare capacity as a psychiatrist with the National Institute of Mental Health. During his career as a state's senior So he is, again, backing up what we're talking about here. He worked with the CIA. He worked with Osama Bin Laden. He worked with the CIA in the late 70s and early 1980s, setting up Al-Qaeda.
Cabinets don't really sell things. The president himself has to reconnect with the people. Remember, President Clinton reconnected through Oklahoma, right? And the president right now seems removed. And it wasn't until that speech that he clicked with the American public. Obama needs a similar kind.
You think words will work for President Obama at this point?
No. Okay, he's got to get some results. But words will work, I think, if he finds that right moment.
We are under attack. Not by the Middle Eastern terrorists or the radical Islam or whatever you want to call it, or homegrown terrorism, or whatever they're fearing us into believing. We are under a psychological attack. It is psychological warfare. And this is a perfect example. The Bin Laden mass media Psy-Op.
What was it like to break bread and have the President of the United States eat your eggplant parmesan?
It was, you know, once in a lifetime thing, I guess, you know. It's pretty cool. He was a great guy, you know.
What did you say?
He just, he loved the shrimp, he loved the grill, the eggplant parmesan. He was really down-to-earth guy.
It took almost 10 years, but it just goes to show the resolve of this country and the resolve of the military, and honestly, Anderson, the resolve of the American people.
Reactions ranging from confused to bewildered, some people even finding it amusing that America's most wanted fugitive, the man behind the September 11th attacks in the United States, was here in their town of Abbottabad. Now, I'm actually here with an eyewitness by the name of Jahangir Khan. Jahangir, if you could just stand right here for me. Jahangir, in the early hours of the morning, you heard some explosions. Tell me what you saw.
Actually, I was almost awake, actually, 1 o'clock. I was talking to my friend on UK on online and Skype. and I hear the helicopter was moving. And I was talking to my wife, what's happening? And we were a little bit scary. We came out and I have seen the helicopter. I went top of my roof, and because it was totally dark, there was no lights, but I have seen them. It was, I think it was an Apache helicopter. So they was moving around 12 o'clock. Then they start firing a few minutes. Then they came again, a few minutes firing. Then around 1 o'clock, we went inside. We thought, I don't know what's happening. Then by 1 o'clock, we went inside. And then 1:15, we hear the explosion, like big noise. Then we scared and we came out we jumped outside from the house, and we saw all the people was going up to then we went up. Then I hear the people was crying there somewhere, like, then we run there because my cousin is living there, right? It's 5 minutes walk if I run from my house to there. Then we run there, me and my brother and a few other people. We run there, but when we went there was all fire going on. It was nothing. And then army came over, they took over. We were there until 4 o'clock.
Okay, so you woke up in the morning and then you heard the news. It was an assault carried out by the United States in which they captured and killed Osama Bin Laden. What did you think when you heard the news?
When I came back at 4 o'clock from there to my house, I opened the news and this says about Osama Bin Laden. I was shocked. And to be honest, I'm living here all my life. And you know that if somebody new comes in your street, in your area, you always know. Like somebody is, you can feel them, you can see the movement. I ever seen anything like that. I can't believe that.
You know, a lot of people in your neighborhood have said that they were suspicious about this house. Was there anything about this house that you found suspicious, that you found strange?
To be honest, I always go in the evening, walk from my house to the same house where they said the Osama Bin Laden. The next house is my other house, which I rented to my cousin friend. And every day in the evening we went there by walk with my wife for just walking. I never seen anything like that, and that's why I can't believe that. And to be honest, it's not true. Osama, maybe some other people, but Osama is not the bird who went to the inside, because this is restricted area. When we came out from outside to come here always army will say, oh, where's your ID card? So it's not believed.
All right. Thank you very much. An interesting reaction. That was Jahangir Khan, a local resident here, who said he walked by this house quite frequently and just really had no idea, or certainly would never conceive, that Osama Bin Laden, the world's most wanted man, could be living right on his doorstep.
They were saying maybe you can live 5-6 years once you're in this position, but if you have this disease, even less. So then I went and pulled up old articles from even the mid-90s saying he had it then and that it was on record. You've seen a CIA file. So how can a guy that has something that kills you in 6 years, correct me if I'm wrong, how can he be alive 16 years later?
He can't. That's why I said on your show, even 9 years ago, that Dr. Dooley, one of the physicians of the CIA, went to the American hospital in Dubai. He was already dying under the Clinton administration. So you have Clinton implicated, who's another prevaricator and distorter. And that was used subsequently in 9/11 because they knew his life was limited. That was it. He was to die. So how do you best use a man's imminent death in a psychological warfare routine? Well, you make him the bad guy. So you make him the bad guy, and then you don't find him for 10 years. Now, that is so absurd in terms of credibility.
And by the way, sir, you didn't even know that CBS News had reported that the CIA did go to the American hospital, Le Figaro, the French. That's been confirmed.
No, I knew this way before.
No, I understand. And, well, no, you said it on the show years ago. It didn't come out until after, but they probably got it from you and then went and did research. But the issue here is that they know full well. Now, his family builds most of the military bases in the Middle East. They did the air conditioning for Mecca. They're one of the richest families in Saudi Arabia.
It's still working.
Exactly. His kids are all going to Oxford and the rest of it. Now his daughter, but we're not seeing her, pops up and says it's all true. This family, from my study, correct me if I'm wrong, goes back to British intelligence. They didn't just send Bin Laden in to be the money man for the Mujahideen that you met while you were there running some of the military operations because he fell off an Apple truck. Now, my intel is they made the deal with him and his family at the time to let him play the part of the bad guy, and since then they've been been given even bigger U.S. and British contracts as the payoff.
Psychological warfare. And this is a perfect example. The Bin Laden mass media Psy-Op, basically. It is clear that this is completely contrived and, again, slowly brought into place, and, again, having the double entendre. Looked at two ways. Oh, what a nice thing. He didn't give a speech. Fantastic, you know, he didn't turn it political. He spoke some words with the individual family members for a moment. But we didn't know what they said. Private moment with the president. Because he was probably fearful of what they might say.